Diddy arrested, indicted, arrested, and denied bail. Girl, did you read that indictment? Honey, I was half asleep when I read it. But one of the things I was looking for was the minor situation. Remember the minor situation? But can we talk about that 1,000 bottle of baby oil? Did he use a multi-millionaire, billionaire? You can't even afford real lube. You have to use baby oil. Baby oil don't belong inside nothing. Baby oil belong on the outside. But if you use baby oil, doesn't it go on the inside? Isn't that dangerous? You couldn't afford real lube. You gotta use baby. What was you doing with 1,000 bottle of baby oil? But you want to talk about you didn't do it. That wasn't you. Huh? You want to talk about that wasn't you. You didn't do it. Did you know what? Accept a plea deal for the sake of your children. How many kids you got? 85? For the sake, they're going to have to change your last names. They're going to have to move to the middle of the Midwest, out in the Amish community somewhere where nobody knows them and nobody watches TV, allegedly, and change their names. Diddy, you need to accept a plea deal. For the sake of your children. For the sake of your mama. And let's talk about you putting up your mama's house for bail. Woo, $50 million, y'all. 50, he put up his Florida house for $48 million. That's 50. $50 million. He was denied bail and his mama's house. And I got a problem with you putting up your mama's house for bail. But like Big Mike says, well, if he ain't going nowhere, his mama house should be safe. You know you shouldn't be putting up your mama house, because when all else fails and everybody lose everything, y'all go back home to your mama. You never put the mama house up for bail. And I was reading that they want him to sell his helicopter, his plane, so he's not flying out the country. And they gave up the passport, his passport, the kids, even the 1-year-old passport. Did he? You got two options. Option number one, which is what I think you should do as a parent, is accept a plea deal. Say, I'm guilty. I did it. I did it. How long you got for me? 10 years? Okay, I'll take it. Or you gonna have to talk. You gonna have to be a snitch, Diddy. Okay? You gonna have to snitch on everybody, including Bishop Jakes. I'm sorry. You gonna have to snitch to save your children. I'm just thinking about the kids. But you know what, Diddy? You didn't think about your kids when you was doing all that you was doing. Diddy is the example of perversion. When you read in the Bible about perversion, Diddy's face is there. Perverse. Perverse mean twisted. And in the Bible, God talks about how some sins are twisted. In other words, it is so far. Let's take sex. SEX. No, YouTube is so sensitive, girl. We know that God created sex to be between one man and one woman. In the holy matrimony of marriage. Well, some people has twisted it, SEX. In other words, it is so far from what God created SEX to be that it's twisted. It is perverse. When you read in the Bible about perversion, put Diddy face in there. Cut little pictures out of Diddy and put it in your Bible. When he said perverse, put Diddy face on. Like, you know what? Diddy is demon possessed. For somebody to do all this stuff, I forgot my fake ring because I got to take the train today. For somebody to do all this stuff that Diddy did, perverse. He is perverse. And you know what I was looking for in that indictment? Again, I was half asleep. You know, when I'm half asleep, I don't be seeing right. My eyes be like this. Okay. That's why I can't do no book work reading at night, y'all. I'm sleeping. I didn't see the whole minor situation. Remember the minor girl? Remember the girl, 17-year-old, who should have been home studying for her SCTs, getting ready for college, who sneaked out of the house, was in a whole grown adult club, who met a grown old crusty man, who performed on an old grown crusty man, who got on a plane to the airport with the old grown crusty man to fly to New York to meet Diddy, and a Diddy and him and the other one allegedly grape her. Remember that girl who is suing him but don't want to tell us her name? You remember her? I didn't see that in there. Did y'all see that? I gotta read it again today, girl. I gotta read it again. I was looking for that because you know, when it's a minor like R. Kelly, boo boo, you is going down. You is going down. But there were only 3 charges. Even though they're saying it's progressive, so they could bring more charges later. But I was really looking for the whole minor girls thing. Maybe because she doesn't want to show us her face. Now, personally, I think you should own it. I think you should own it, ma'am. I think you should come out, show us your face, and say, and you could really, really, really help a lot of young women, okay? Because I think that more women need to talk to young women who, you're 17, you're 16, you're supposed to be home. You're not supposed to be in a nightclub with grown folks. What was going on at home that she can get on a plane, fly to New York? Where was your mama? Or whoever. And so I think this woman should own it. And she could really, really help a lot of young women. Just like I own having a baby at 16, who's now 30 years old. Own it. You can really help a lot of young women because it's peer pressure. Maybe it was definitely peer pressure for me. So I'm just going to read this TMZ indictment release summary and tell me what y'all think. Hey, guys, be sure to subscribe, thumbs up, share this out again. Thank you. Because, honey, let me tell you. I was like, wait a minute, Lord. Just go ahead and go to jail. Diddy, this is a shout out to TMZ. Diddy indicted on SEX trafficking, racketeering, kidnapping charges. Mm, mm, mm. Sean Diddy Combs is now a criminal defendant in a SEX trafficking, racketeering, and kidnapping case after a grand jury indicted him. This, according to official documents. Diddy has been charged with 3 counts: racketeering, conspiracy, SEX trafficking, by force, fraud, or coercion, and transportation to engage in prostitution. According to the indictment from 2008 to present, members of Combs' enterprise allegedly engaged in SEX trafficking, forced labor, interstate transportation for purposes of prostitution, coercion, and enticement to engage in prostitution. Excuse me. Narcotics offenses, kidnapping, arson, bribery, and obstruction of justice. According to the indictment, the purposes of Combs' enterprise was to operate a global business in media, entertainment, and lifestyle industry. The purpose also includes preserving Diddy's power and fulfilling his personal desires, especially in relation to his sexual gratification, including through the exploitation of women and the use of commercial sex workers. Lord, the indictment mentions the now famous freak off parties. I keep telling y'all about going to people's homes and going to these freak offs. See, some of y'all is just so perverse. You just as perverse. You are just as perverse as Diddy. Oh, we're going to an orgy. A what? Mm, mm, mm. Call it freak off parties, calling them elaborate and produced as six performances that Combs arranged, directed, masturbated during, and often electronically recorded. And then this the thing that get me, y'all. Diddy, you had all them tapes at your house. You just gave the prosecution a roadmap. Don't you know? Even if you did those things, why are they at your house? Huh? You should have had like an underground situation going on where you keep all these evidences that you're going to use against people. I'm not saying that's what I would do. I'm just saying, use a dum-dum. You kept all that stuff at your house. They have everything. Once they come in with a warrant, they're going to get all your stuff. Oh, and let's talk about those 3 guns, rifles with their things scratched off. Child, use the dum-dum. Diddy is the dumbest criminal in history. They need to have a show called The Dumbest Criminals, and number 1 needs to be Diddy. Because you had all that stuff at your house with all the illegalities you've done and hurting people and stuff you've done. You kept all that stuff at your house. Oh, Lord. The indictment alleges Combs lured women into his orbit under the pretense of a romantic relationship and then used threats of force, and coercion to cause victims to engage in extended sex acts with male commercial sex workers. So listen to what he said is that he lured women, right? They thought they was going to get a relationship, be in a relationship with Diddy. That's what men do. That's what predators do. That's what most of the men in 23 types of guys do. This is why every woman must read 23 types of guys you might meet, because they lure you into what they want. Diddy is the perfect example of the hunter, right? The hunter is a man who knows what he wants. He's hunting for something specifically. And when he meets you, he will lure you into his, what the Bible says, like a sheep. I can't find the scripture I'm thinking about. But anyways, you're being led. And you think you're getting B, but he only wants you for A. So you don't meet a man and jump all the way in. You vet him. And you gather data on him to make sure he's going to give you what you need, or he got what you need. But see, a lot of women are dum-dums. Y'all don't do that. You just trust, believe, and all of this stuff. And a lot of women, you're so hungry, you're so thirsty, you're so desperate, you don't want to go work. You want a man who's not your husband to take care of you. And so you be, like Cassie. How much was he paying her a month? Didn't they say that's why she broke it off, that he cut her monthly expense, monthly thing from, what was the number again? She was getting a certain amount a month and he cut it to 50%, and that's why she finally left him. Do y'all remember that story? Somebody help me out in the comment. If I remember correctly, Diddy was paying Cassie a certain, allegedly, because I don't even remember, a certain amount a month, and he cut it. And that's why she eventually left him, because he cut her allowance. I'm just saying, girl, get you a job. Mm-hmm. So it says the indictment alleges Combs lured women into his orbit under the pretense of a romantic relationship. We know women want romantic relationship. We want husbands. We want to be covered and provided for. Threats of force, coercion to the cause victims to engage in extended SEX acts with male commercial SEX workers. After the freak-offs, Combs and the victims typically received IV fluids to recover from the physical exertion and drug use. Well, my God. The indictment does not include details on the kidnapping allegations other than they occurred in California, as did arson and bribery. So remember the guy that tried to date Cassie after he broke up and did he allegedly set his car on fire? Remember that one? Do you remember that? Would that be the arson? Huh? Would that be the arson one? Right? That's the only one I remember. Do you guys remember any other arson situation? That's the only one I remember. Mm, mm, mm. As for the drug charges, they allegedly involve the intent to distribute narcotics, including cocaine, oxycodone, Xanax, GHB, the date rate, MDMA, and ketamine. Mm, mm, mm. The indictment references what was seized during the raids at Diddy's homes in Beverly Hills and Miami, various freak-off supplies, including narcotics, and more than 1,000 bottles of baby oil and lubricant. They also seized firearms, including 3 AR-15s with defaced serial numbers and a drum magazine. A 2016 video shows Sean Diddy Combs assaulting then girlfriend Cassie Ventura in an altercation that matches some allegations in now settled lawsuit, and we need to also include that she went back to him after that. The indictment also includes allegation of violence against women. He's alleged to have assaulted women by striking, punching, dragging, throwing objects at, and kicking them. In references to March indictment captured in the Cassie situation. There's more. Prosecutors say in late 2023 found public allegations of the crimes. Combs and his associates would pressure victims and witnesses, including through attempted bribery, to silence them. You should have thought about that before you try to do it. Tuesday morning, Diddy's sons, King Justin, were in Lower Manhattan outside federal court awaiting their father's appearance before a judge. Now, this is another thing, right? He went to turn himself in. He was supposed to turn himself in Tuesday morning. They came and arrested him Monday night. Why do you think they did that? For the headlines, girl? They want people to know we got him. We got this. We got this. Okay. Child. His lawyer, Mark Agnifilo, said going into the courthouse, he will fight like hell to get his client released on bail. Agnifilo said his client is not only not guilty, but outright innocent. He's a lie. Diddy will appear before a judge Tuesday morning where the charges will be read. TMZ broke the story. Diddy was arrested Monday night at the Park Hyatt Hotel in Midtown, where he had been staying. Law enforcement sources told TMZ the arrest was supposed to go down Tuesday, but something happened to accelerate it. Who had contentious relationship with Diddy during filming of Making of the Banta, says, I never thought I would see this day. We all buried this inside of us in order to be able to keep going. And not just me, but victims you don't even know yet. We are all processing what the type of vindication can actually feel like now. Every conversation I've had with victims last night has been beyond moving on all levels. Homeland Security swooped in Monday evening and took Diddy into custody. He's expected to appear before a judge. We know that already. Oh, child, this is too much. 30 minutes before they arrested, he was outside chatting up with fans. Child, I would be scared of him. I would be scared. Hours before the arrest, he was walking with his son Christian King Combs on the streets of New York. Child, they said they're not gonna give him no bail. Okay, no bail for Diddy. So P Diddy baby oil Diddy. Sean Combs baby oil went to court and pleaded not guilty, held without bail. Ooh, child. Diddy lawyers determined to see the rap mogul out from behind bars. We caught up with Mark outside the courthouse where he vowed to keep fighting until Combs is a free man. They're not going to let him out, child. The judge at 128, the judge just denied bail for Diddy, who will remain in custody. Ooh, child. You not going nowhere. And where's your suit? You didn't get a suit. Your lawyer didn't bring you a suit, Diddy. You know your lawyer. Oh, your lawyer should know you need to be looking decent in front of the judge. You need to look decent in front of the judge. You just have on a t-shirt. Ooh, child, look at them lips, honey. Who drew his picture? I'm not gonna read this. I basically already talked about this. But yeah, they denied him the bail. He ain't gonna get out. Okay, here we go. Diddy offered to fork over a staggering $50 million. Y'all better take that money as bond. He wouldn't pay that amount in cash. Instead, he offered his $48 million Miami mansion and his mother's home as collateral, and said he was willing to wear a GPS monitor and limit his travel to South Florida and the New York City area. The court hearing is still going on, and a judge has yet to rule on this issue of bail. Excuse me. But we know he was later denied the bail. So that's it, cousin. Let me know what y'all think about this, honey. I think he should just go ahead and take a plea deal to save your children. You just be ill. Can you imagine how embarrassing this was? Anyway, I love you. Come on back. I meant to mention this at the beginning. Y'all want me to talk about the allegations that the debate was rigged. I really do not talk about politics on this channel, okay? Except, pray for the president, bless the president. We have a new president. And, the whole Joe Biden coup. I had to talk about that because, it was a coup, allegedly. But anyways, yeah, I don't really talk about politics, okay? Because I have a lot of different people over here, and politics divides people. I do have a lot of independents over here. Hey, my cousins. My cousin, okay? Everybody else is cousin, but independence, your cousin. Okay? Because we vote issues and policies. We don't vote personnel and people. We vote who's going to put the money in my pocketbook, okay? And for the last 4 years, we ain't got no money, and we can't find no house. But the Fed cut is supposed to be coming today, girl. Maybe I'll get a house by the end of the year. Okay, love you. Remember to show me love and support on my books available on Amazon. Absolutely love you, adore you. Thank you so much. I appreciate everything you do for me. Remember, please to go back and leave glowing 5-star reviews. Love you. Talk to you later. Bye.